Today I came here to originally speak about the great achievement that you all accomplished in bringing about delisting, and to talk about the conditions at Camp Liberty and about recognizing you as an alternative to the brutal regime in Iran. But today, tragically, we're forced to deal with something more immediate. Today, we're forced to deal with murder, cold-blooded murder that occurred just a few hours ago. Shame on the United Nations and shame on the United States Department of State. Shame on you! These murders this morning did not have to take place. They should not have taken place. There is no reason that they should have occurred. These people moved at the urging of the United Nations and the Secretary of State of the United States. They were under the protection of the United Nations and the United States. There was no reason for this move. We said that a year ago. There was no reason for it. These people were in Ashraf. These people could have been relocated from Ashraf to any number of countries. The relocation could have been done at Ashraf expeditiously and sensibly. There never was a reason for this move. But the United Nations, United States Department of State, the Iraqi government insisted on it. About a year ago, in front of a gathering like this, I said that it looked like Camp Liberty would be a concentration camp. When I met on, I believe it was July 1st of 2012 with Martin Kubler in Paris, with Judge Mukasey present and a number of our colleagues, he was insulted that I called it a concentration camp. Well, Martin Kubler, it is not only a concentration camp, it's a killing field. And you, Martin Kubler, watched it become a concentration camp. You allowed it to become a concentration camp, and you permitted it to become a killing field, and the responsibility is directly on your hands. You shouldn't resign. Ban Ki-moon should fire you today. Martin Kubler, I am personally outraged because you lied to me, you lied to Judge Mukasey, you lied right to our face. You lied to Madam Rajavi. You're a liar. And the blood of these people is on your hands. But as Patrick Kennedy pointed out, responsibility is not just on the United Nations. Responsibility, unfortunately, and it breaks my heart to say this, is on my country as well. It's on the United States. First of all, when these people originally gave up their arms, they handed them over to the United States military. And as military leader after military leader has told you at conferences like this, they were promised, solemnly promised, the protection of the United States of America. Not just the United Nations, but of the United States of America. Over the years, the word of the United Nations has not meant much. It's been fairly useless as an organization in solving our world's disputes. But the word of the United States of America is solemn and precious. And that word has been broken over and over and again. These people were promised protection. Not only were they promised protection, but in October of 2011, Secretary Hillary Clinton told the United States Congress that America has a good plan, which is to move Camp Ashraf residents to Camp Liberty. Secretary Clinton, in her statement on December 25, 2011, regarding the relocation to Camp Liberty, stated that the United States, quote, welcomes this important step toward a humane resolution to the ongoing situation at Ashraf. The UN effort, she said, has our full support. She also stated that officials from the United States Embassy, Baghdad, will visit Camp Liberty regularly and frequently. They have not visited regularly and frequently. Not only has that promise been broken, but the most important promise has been broken. The promise to help keep these people safe. And when the attack took place this morning, and people were being murdered, and rockets were being fired into the camp, where was the United States to vindicate its promise of protection? Nowhere. Nowhere in sight. This is dishonorable. The United States must stand by its promise. The President of the United States should lead from the front, not from behind. Nothing less will suffice. Yes, move them to Ashraf. But we've seen them killed at Ashraf as well as at Liberty, haven't we? No. If our word means what it is supposed to mean, if the honor of the United States is to be vindicated, then the President of the United States must act forcefully and decisively. We have an obligation. There's no choice but to live up to our word, and nothing less will suffice. And then we should move on. We should move on to the agenda that has us here originally, which is to recognize this organization for what it is, the best hope for a free, democratic, decent, and non-nuclear Iran. I conclude by saying to those who are listening and will listen, from the families that have lost loved ones today, who have loved ones in hospitals, or maybe not even in hospitals, but wounded by this attack. Our heart goes out to you, our prayers go to you, and most importantly, we've stood with you, but we stand with you now with even more conviction and with even more determination that these lives will not have been lost in vain. And it will lead, under the leadership of Madam Rajavi and your organization, to an Iran that is free, democratic, to an Iran that respects human rights, and to an Iran that is peaceful and non-nuclear. We double our commitment, we triple our commitment, and we will not rest until these goals are achieved. God bless you.